At this stage, we have output. We've got some input in the form of a variable, albeit the information that we store on there, like the 99 and the 55, are hard coded within the program. In other words, every time we run this program, we're going to get the same output. I'll use that though for now because I want to change how we do the output. In this case here, we've got the value of number is, and a separate console.write or write line for the actual number itself. So instead of doing that, what I could have done is kept inside quotes the part that I want to come out, like literally, and then at the end of that, add on to it number. So I'll delete that one. So they're both on the same line there. Now, numbers outside quotes, so it's going to, in this case here, it's going to use the value of the memory location, which should be 99. And whenever we add 99 onto a string, in other words, onto a sentence, what it does, it actually concatenates it onto it. So it's not going to try and sum up like 99 plus this string. It will just append it onto the end of it. So the output looks exact same as before. Alright, and because we got rid of the right line, you can see that the second one is right up against the first one. Now, what I could do is, on a line of its own after that, I could do just a console dot write line, just an empty one, and that will give me the blank line. But it sort of defeats the purpose because we really wanted to get rid of that. So what I want to do is look at different methods of doing the output here. And one of the methods of doing the output is to use what's called a placeholder. If I click inside this sentence here, and where I want the number to appear, I put in an opening brace followed by a number followed by a closing brace. This opening and closing brace here acts as a placeholder, and what it means is anything that comes outside of this string, separated by commas basically, should be inserted into a placeholder, and the very first piece of information will be inserted into placeholder 0. If I've got a second one, I will go into placeholder 1, 2 and so on. And the actual syntax of how this is done is just a comma after the string. So that's basically saying now, after the string, anything comes afterwards, substitute it onto a placeholder position inside here. So if I run that, you'll see the output is exactly the same. Now what I can also do is inside this string, I can give it commands, and these commands are essentially old C++ commands. It's called escape sequences, and you introduce an escape sequence by using the backslash followed by some command, and \n just means new line. So if I run that now, you can see I've got a new line after our first printout. If I was to put several of these in, you see in this case here, I would get 3 new lines. So it's a handy thing to have there. You might have noticed, I'll just run it again, the space that this one here, the value of number is, and that's just because after we've displayed number here, we've got a space there. Right. And there's a space there. We don't need any, we've already put a space between is and the placeholder. That's where number will go. Right. So any other spaces we do after that will also show up in your output. So you can see that's better now. Now, if I wanted to do like a second number on the same line as the first one, I could create a variable, let's say, called another num, and set that equal to, let's say, 77. So I've created two variables on the one line. I've separated them by commas and ended the statement with a semicolon. So I'm declaring a memory location, a variable, big enough for an integer, called number, and store the value 99 into it. Another location called another num. Remember, these are like just aliases, and store the number 77 into it. So if I take this sentence here, and let's say I want to display both of those values in this sentence, I'll change that to, let's say, the first, I'll say the first number is, I'll take out these here for now actually as well. The first number is, and there's placeholder 0, and the second is, and I need another placeholder for that. So again, it's done inside these braces, but it now needs a value. And then after the string, so after I've closed this here sentence, it's comma, and then I list anything afterwards that needs to go into the placeholders. The very first one is number, which I want to go in there, so it appears first. And the next one is the variable another num. You can see it appearing in the list here, and I want that to come second. So this code, what it should do is say the first number is 99 and the second number is 77. Why 99? Because it's going to take that and put it on there. And why 77? Because it's going to take that and put it on there. And at the very end of that, I'll do two new lines, just so that that's not stuck right up against it. And there we have, the first number is 99 and the second is 77. So it's a nice way of displaying output. There's a lot of things we can do with the numbers, to give it a certain number of decimal places and so on. It's called formatted output, and we'll have a wee look at that as we go along. But what we do have here now is a program that now creates more than one memory location. We store values into it. We're displaying output, and what we would like to do then is take it a step further so that the user, when they run the program, can enter a value, and then that value can be repeated back out to them. And we'll do that in the next lesson.